I should went this way. Sprinkle in a little mama bear. Aww. Legoo. Thank you, Mom. Whoa. You should, you know what? At some point, we have a full hour. At some point during the show, you should model that Raider dress you got. I'm just saying. Often imitated, never duplicated. Nah, that bull with no hair that shouts like Ric Flair. Whoa! What? Woo! The Raider Bear! Hot Raiders! Alexa, shut your mouth. I'm getting so good with her now. It took me a couple times saying that before she understood that meant stop. She literally asked me. She was like, would you like me to stop playing back then? I'm like, yes, that's what shut your mouth means. And then it's like it learned, which is frightening. I would like to point out that any farts or burp sounds that you might hear periodically throughout the show belong to two French bulldogs and not yourself or the co-host of this show, Mama Bear. Tradish! A Raider Bear Live. First comment, woo, MVP tonight goes to Jim Vanderlyn. That's right. You other guys own it, okay? Jim Vanderlyn slid into the gold medal round from YouTube, no less. Oh, mother, turn the fan on. Oh, God, it's like they eat spinach and cabbage all day. God, that's like fermented, and then they fart it. God, I paid for this? Jesus. Second place. I can't even drum. Dustin King. What's up, DK? Welcome to the show. Always there for Raider Bear, my guy, Dustin King. Russell, the heavyweight champion of the world, in third place tonight.
He was taking the night off.
Josh.
He wanted someone else to have a chance.
I guess so, right? Honorable mention to my guy, Mount Rushmore, David Pelkliva, who used to win golds like, we grow grapes in California. There are a lot of them. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you all tuning in. I hope you're having a great Friday and this Friday evening that you're going to go out and party safely and not drink and drive or any of that stuff because you're all cubs of the bear now. And if you do that, I'll get upset with you. So do not do that because I don't like that. No drinking, no driving. You can drink and you can drive, but you can't drink and drive. Can't do both. Don't do that. All right, that was my public service message. I was just getting that off my podium. We have a responsibility when we have great power, like Spider-Man, Raider Bear. Anthony Penn, what's up, P? Anthony Penn, AP in the house. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Vincent Rubalcaba, love that name. Corinna Trujillo, what's up, love? Welcome to the show. Nathan Matthews, how you doing? Welcome. Ted Thane said, hope the auctions went well earlier. Couldn't make the show. Ted, it was no problem, brother. It went well. And we gave away a lot of patches, and it was great. And we had a lot of fun. We always have a lot of fun, though. I have a great audience. Mark Vargas, bear. He put the polar bear, too, so I'm giving it to Mark Vargas. Bear! He put both emojis. Just remember that to all of you other upstarts in the future, okay? Mark Vargas is the real bear man, okay? He gave me the bear and the polar bear. Marky Lashley, what's up? Welcome to the show. Doc Raider, how you doing, man? Hi, Tommy. Hi, Val. No wonder Alexa doesn't listen to you. You got to sweet talker. Anna Diaz Rincon, I'm okay. This post-surgical pain is something else. Thank you for asking. Corinna Trujillo, I'm sorry. I'm so bad about my inbox. I didn't realize that you had that today. Mama Bear and I felt terrible. I know Mama Bear already reached out to you, and I just wanted to reach out to you too and just tell you we love you and we hope that everything went fine. And I'm sure it did. And now that you're in that rest phase, I'm glad, we just, our prayers up for you. Anna Diaz Rincon. Getting lit. We're getting lit. Her and her husband going to get lit. Will Mahomes still play the same after playing on his broken, diluted, shot up ankle? That was swollen as Rod Stiffington. Welcome to the show. Rod Stiffington. I was talking to my other guy the other day, Dick Richards. But Rod, I would have to tell you that I think he will play well. He played well with it bad. So once he gets the surgery and they clean it up, he's going to be better. The only real question that would be left is will it become a re-aggravating injury? That's what we have to look for next year. But as far as will he be able to play on it, absolutely. Anthony Provencio, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. We have another great Italian name in the house, Mama Bear. Provencio. Or Provencio. I'm not sure. Morphin Mahomes. He does look like a Power Ranger. I'm sorry I've called him that many times. Kevin Woke, what's up? Welcome to the show. Anthony Provencio, I think that DeAndre Carter is a very good slot receiver. There was a story back last year when the Chargers went through a rash of injuries and they needed their backup wide receivers, including some people they even brought off their practice team, to step up and play a major role because they had at least 3 or 4 wide receivers that were all down. And from what I understand, DeAndre Carter was the best of them all. He had games where he was the best receiver on the field, and at some points became the number one target of the quarterback. My favorite Steeler fan. No, I don't have a favorite Steeler fan. Okay, Raider Val, I just like you a lot. Okay, let's not get it twisted. Anthony Provencio, what's your expectations for Zamir White? I think that Zamir is always going to be a guy that you have to take measures to protect him from re-tearing his Achilles tendon, because he's already displayed that he gets calf tightness after a game or two. And if after a game or two he gets calf tightness, you have to bench him. You have to, because we know now through sports medicine and science that calf tightness just leads to another calf Achilles strain or Achilles tear. So you have to rest him a lot. So what I think of him so far is I don't like it. I like him. I like his running style. I like his physicality, all of that stuff. The only thing I don't like about him is his medical history. So. Yes, I had my first ever all ladies victory in the medal round this afternoon. It was pretty cool. Well, in the instance of Patrick Mahomes, we're talking about ligaments, not an Achilles or an cruciate tear. But regardless, I was in sports medicine for a little over 20 years, and I can tell you honestly that when you get injuries like this, you don't get better from them. There's freak surgeries, so far, like we've made advancements with fixing Achilles tendons, but at the same time, the way the patients respond to them is different each time. So for example, when you hear them say, oh, there's a great new surgery for the Achilles tendon and sports athletes are coming back like never before. And that's true. But what you're also finding is that they all respond to it differently. Kobe also had the same surgery, and his Achilles tore twice after the surgery. And so he had to finish his career on that. And the surgery and the advanced technology that we have to do it better was here when Kobe got that surgery. And then you see kind of Kevin Durant got it, and he's having reoccurring problems, whereas Klay Thompson got it, and he's not having reoccurring problems. So it's all up to the patient at this point. There's other Raider reporters that are stating Christian Gonzalez from Oregon is the next Nnamdi Asomugha if the Raiders draft him. Do you think that's a fair comparison? Ted, I would say that is a fair comparison, if only because although Nnamdi Asomugha was a star corner, he was a star corner on one side of the field. He was never a guy that could go to one side or the other or follow the best wide receiver. If, for example, the best wide receiver crossed to the other side of the field, he would release him to the other defensive back. If he went to the slant position or played in the third, wide receiver slot position, he wouldn't cover that. He only covered the one. And if you moved out of the one position, for example, if the one was at the top right-hand side of the field, that's where Nnamdi was playing. And if you were going to move that guy out of there, then Nnamdi just released him into the pattern and into the zone and allowed other Raiders to pick him up. So he wasn't the shutdown cover guy that people think of when they think of Nnamdi. He was a shutdown guy for us because he always shut down one side of the field. He always made one-on-one matchups for himself wherever he could. So he was good, but he wasn't versatile. Whereas your best corners can follow the number one receiver wherever he goes on the field. Now, Christian Gonzalez, from what I understand, is that kind of cover guy. He goes wherever the number one goes. So I don't mind him, and I don't mind Devin Witherspoon. James Walker, what's up, brother? Hi, Princetta. Welcome to the show. Always there for a Raider Bear. Hey, Rick Flair Bear. I like Gio Grady Torrance and very stout and agile and vicious run blocker. He is former Florida Gator and number 54 in the SEC. Think about this: Parham and Torrance for the future. If we can get him 100% pick and fullback, tell me JJ wouldn't smile ear to ear because he can crown scrimmage. You do, Tay. We'll burn you deep. It's basically pick your poison, beaver nuts. What's up? Kenneth Parsons, Rackham. Kenneth, I like your comment. I agree with quite a bit of it. I would say to you, though, that as far as the fullback position, they're not going to pick another fullback. We brought back that kid, Jacob Johnson, whatever his name was. I forget it now, but he's coming back to us. Does Austin Hooper ball out like he used to? Anthony Provencio, there's no reason to think that Austin Hooper wouldn't ball out. For example, even if, let's say, he lost a step, which we don't think he did, okay, in 2018, 2019, he was all pro. And so, that soon, to think he'd have a fall off that soon, I don't think so. He's probably got 4 or 5 years of good football left in him because he's got a great build. He's built like a linebacker and he plays tight end. But having said that, he's got good enough foot speed to beat most linebackers and good enough hands to play in when he's in the backfield against secondary cornerbacks and safeties. And then more importantly, we have to remember, this is crucially important, that this style of offense that Josh McDaniels is bringing to the field for us features and attacks with the tight end. So we should have success with the tight end no matter who we bring in. If they're just halfway decent, we should have success at the tight end position. That's just a given to me with this offense. Steeler Van, you are welcome to the title. Steeler Val, you are welcome to the title of my favorite Steeler fan. I will give that to you. What's Mo likely? Is Renfro on the trade block, or is he being schemed into the offense? Anthony Provencio, I would say to you that great questions, by the way. Welcome to the show. And if you enjoyed the show, please do me a favor and just subscribe to me on YouTube. Click on that little bell. And when I go live, it'll give you alerts to when I'm going to go live. And if you would also, those of you watching me on Facebook, consider a subscription to Raider Bear family page. It's just $5 a month. That's just $60 for the entire year. It's like buying me a pair of jeans. And the cost of that goes to charities that we work with all over the world, not just here in the United States, not just in California, but all over the world. We sent 28 kids to school in Africa that had no education. We sent COVID shots all over the world, but over 650,000 to Dubai, Afghanistan, Iraq, and there was somewhere else. And we went over 650,000 COVID shots in the money that we donated. It was very cool. Rod Stivington, yeah, ankles are tough. Anthony Provencio says, who is our best linebacker right now? That's a good question. With us losing Denzel Perryman, that's something that's going to have to show itself on the field now. You know what I mean? We just don't know. It could be Spillane, one of the new guys we just brought in from the Steelers. It could be, Divine Diablo gained weight. I haven't seen him yet recently. Well, I've seen him, but I haven't really taken a look at him to see if he's gained any more weight and that kind of thing. But we'll see. Val said, I like your beard, Mr. Bear. You should keep it.
I said the same thing.
Okay, ladies. I'm trying. It was just difficult because it got itchy. But my good friend Brian Whitfield, recommended this beard oil, and I tried it, and it actually worked. I was surprised, and that stopped itching. Rod Stivington said trade. If you mean like trade down, and I'm counting on it. Because really, honestly, I don't know if all the stuff with Anthony Richardson is real. And even if it is real, I think maybe it won't happen just because I think the Raiders want to move up, but they haven't been able to find a partner. And if they can't find one by this point, we already know the Panthers moved up, right? They were able to do it. So the teams will give you a deal now and let you move into their slot right now if you give them the deal that works. And we weren't able to work one thus far with the Cardinals. I'm hoping that they're waiting to pull the trigger on the deal until the last minute at the draft. But outside of that, I'm concerned. We may end up just trading back. Can this new line get us the ring this year? Coretta Trujillo, the line will be better. Whether we get a ring or not, that's going to depend on what we do with a lot of these other picks. For example, I would say to you, honestly, if we're really going to have a good season next year, at least 2 rookies that we pull out of this draft have to play, and they have to be good. For example, we may need one of them to play safety, or we may need one of these guys to come in and play defensive end, or defensive tackle. We may need one of these guys to come in and play right tackle. Who knows? But I have a funny feeling that with as many spots that we have of need, there's going to be a point. Maybe, in fact, why not linebacker? We're already light there. The guys we brought in, we don't really know, how they are going to develop, how they're going to be physically. Are they going to play every game? Are they going to be ready right away? Are they going to be guys that, play 2 games and miss 2 games? Who knows? Troy Gill, what's up? Welcome to the show. I'll be honest with you with this, though. I wouldn't mind if they use that number 7 pick and get the best linebacker in the country. I would love that. That'd be a beautiful thing. You bring in the best, baddest linebacker in the country available at 7. And by the way, it'll probably be the best doggone linebacker in the country. Now, is there a chance the Lions pick him up, or Seattle? Sure. You know what I mean? What was the draft order again? I have it right here. The Cardinals, at 3, if no one trades up with them, they're probably going to go defense. You could do it there, but there you probably go with a defensive end, someone on the line. And then after that, the Seahawks and Lions, because the Colts definitely want a quarterback. Panthers, Texans, Colts. But see, that's just 3 quarterbacks. To me, the Cardinals, Seahawks, Lions are looking defense, or in the instance of the Colts, I don't know if this is true or not. It sounds like it's true because they seem to have let it slip. It seems like they just let it out, but that the Colts are looking to actually move back. If Bryce Young or CJ Stroud if they're both gone at 1 and 2, then the Colts would focus on Hendon Hooker, which you can do really late in the first round or maybe even early second round. He may still be on the board because of that Achilles. For some reason, I'm getting the impression from people I know that the Achilles injury that Hendon Hooker got, the NFL, for one reason or another, thinks that his is bad. Like he's going to either not recover at all or just recover and just be a constant re-aggravated injury. You know what I mean? I don't know. I hope not. Vicky Ginn, what's up, love? Welcome to the show. Tony Carpenter Evans, hi, love. Ted Thane, does the signing of Carter signal the trade of Renfro? Yes, in my opinion. Probably on draft night. We've got a pretty full receiver room now. Yeah, and Ted, I would tell you honestly, I think that's all it means. I really do. I don't see how it could mean anything else, to be quite honest with you. I mean, why would you get a guy that not only plays the slot, but you could argue looks like a better slot receiver than the guy we have? It looks like Josh McDaniels is saying, I like this guy better. And it doesn't matter if Hunter Renfro's younger. This guy could give me 2 or 3 years. I don't need more than that from him. I just need a guy that can be explosive and dangerous right now. Not maybe injured, maybe not, maybe good today, maybe not. Troy Gill, no, write it down for me. Or not write it down, but I mean, put it in your comment for me. Just say I wear a size and just give me the size. Hi, Bear, I wear a size this. Kaylee, I'm going to Texas on April 15th and the 16th. Arlington, Texas, TNBC Cruise, 6th annual. My Raider daughter, thank you for reminding me, love. The 6th annual Booster Club season kickoff event. It's a free party for all Raider fans. All Booster Clubs are welcome, so please come on down. And Mama Bear and I will be there hosting the show. That's right. We're going to be there. We're going to host the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we can't wait, to be quite honest with you, because Mama Bear knows I'm crazy. So she's anxious to see what I'm going to do to all of y'all with my face. It's going to be pretty and not X-rated, although it could go there. I love Raider Nation. And my beard will not be longer by then. Stop it. It takes me like a year or two just to grow this peach fuzz I have now. Bear, Mark Davis was speaking about Josh, and he spoke in the past tense of him being a player. He said, was a good Raider. Have you heard anything? I haven't heard anything, Tony Carpenter Evans, but all I can tell you is this. If you are a Josh Jacobs fan, and it sounds like you are, I would tell you to buckle your seatbelt up, because if I just sat down with you and broke down the evidence, you would realize that, he's being dicked around with. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. We all watched him have a great season last year. So we just, brushed it off and just thought, that's just contract stuff. No big deal. Josh, look at Josh. He's tearing up the field. He's, number one running back in the league. We're going to be fine. Josh McDaniels does not value running backs. He doesn't care what you do. You could be Bo Jackson, and all he would do is think of where he could trade you and how many first-round picks and player combinations he could get for you. That's it. I don't understand it personally. Every sport evolves. You know what I mean? Like baseball now is doing everything it can to shorten its games, because they know that the lifespan of the game is being damaged, because games tend to take 3 hours minimum. And people don't want to be at a baseball game for 3 hours. They just don't. It's no different than like when you go to the movies and you go to a great movie at the movie theater. It's not that you don't like the movie. You just don't want to sit through 3 hours of that movie. If it's 2 hours, fine. 2 hours with a couple end credits. Okay. But when you get up around 3 hours plus, now you've lost me. I mean, I don't care what it is, unless it's amazing, and involves belly dancing and baby oil, then I'm out of here. 3 hours. I could take 3 hours of that, but not 3 hours of sports. Just no, it's too long. But as far as Josh Jacobs, I just think that they're going to extend him, and they're going to use him as much as they possibly can. And as bad as that sounds, it's the business now at that position. Analytics and the advancement of the game has told all football coaches and football people that running back is just not the position to spend money on. You're wasting cap space. If you're wasting it on a running back, it's wasted cap space, because you can get other running backs cheaper than whoever it is you're interested in that can give you similar to what that guy gives you. In other words, they're saying basically whatever Josh Jacobs gave the Raiders last year, another team can mimic that with another guy. And by mimic it, they don't mean that he's going to be as good or better than Josh Jacobs. They mean if Josh Jacobs rushes for 1,200 yards, they can find someone that can go for 900, and they can make up the other couple hundred yards on little slant routes and bubble screens. You see what I'm saying? So they're saying devalue the running back position, pay less and less and less for it, because there's just so many ways you can supplement the offense you get from the running back position. No. Kenneth Parsons, I'm not reading your comments anymore. They're far too long. Hey, hey, Rhetoric Flair Bear. I think Sincere McCormick can steal a few snaps away from JJ. I'm looking for him to come out of nowhere and surprise a few people. Can count on Zeus anymore. Let's see what this kid can bring to the table. Sincere McCormick does have definite speed. He's got the video game wiggles and all that, but I wouldn't disrespect Josh Jacobs and bet against him with any running back that's on the roster, no matter who it is, because Josh Jacobs is the truth. He's proven. There's no maybe. Okay. And any other player you talk about in almost any other situation, you have to say, well, I hope he's going to do this. Well, I hope he's going to do that. You don't hope with Josh Jacobs. Okay. You get what you're supposed to get. You get hard fought yards. You get toughness. You get greatness. You get great balance. Find the hole. Burn guys. Put your helmet down. Put it through someone's chest. Get it wet. And then walk it dry. That's Josh Jacobs. Proven. I heard Ghost is excited to go to Texas. Yeah, Kaylee McLaughlin. It's going to be cool to see our guy, the 209 legend, Merced's own Ghost Raider. Joseph Leva, what's up, Raider Bear? Listening and watching you and the Warriors. Right on, Joseph. Appreciate that. That's a great profile picture, by the way. Let's see. Vernon Moshman, what's up, Vernon? If we aren't moving up in the draft, I would rather package our 7th, Jacobs and Renfro, to Green Bay for their 13th and 15th pick in the first. That's a good one. Yes, I would want Jacobs, but we would get 2 first-round picks on rookie contracts. Well, see, now you just said it right there, Vernon Moshman. See, now Vernon Moshman is a commenter and a Raider fan that I can tell understands what he's talking about, because he said the crucial word there, pickups on rookie contracts. See, the name of the game is getting as much as you can in that 4 to 5 year window of a guy when he goes from his rookie year till now. You see it with Ezekiel Elliott, and you're seeing it with Dak Prescott right now. As soon as they are getting close to their 4th and 5th years in football, bye-bye. Unless you're a proven producing winner, you're gone. And you know, let's be honest, Dak was good. He had one of the best rookie starts of all time. But as I've said many times, just like RG3, just like Dak Prescott, you know, just like Brock Purdy with the Niners last year, when you're a rookie nobody and no one knows who you are, you can do all sorts of stuff and the defense doesn't know what you're going to do. And so it works and you look like a star. But the very next season, they have video on you now. They have tape on you now. They know what your cadences are. They know what your tendencies are. They know your footwork. They know if you like to drift right or drift left first, et cetera, et cetera. And then once they have that, then you see that quarterback slowly degrade because the defense is starting to figure out what they're doing, Baker Mayfield. And Brock Purdy now, you know, when Brock Purdy comes out next year for the Niners, and he'll be their starter more than likely, unless they make some bomb trade. And, you know, they may. But if they don't, it's probably going to be him after some point, and he'll get crushed. Yeah, Rod Sivington, exactly. They want temp agency running back. They want running back by temp agency. You know what I mean? And I mean, and you're already seeing it with Josh McDaniels. Think about it. Other than Josh Jacobs, what running back do we have on our roster? Think about that. Zamir White, a guy who, you know, you have to have a MASH unit follow because he has torn Achilles in both legs. That other guy, the one with the dreads that's always, you know, jerking and jiving instead of just finding the hole. He drives me crazy. Brandon Bolden, I like him. I do. I like Brandon Bolden, but he ain't anywhere near what Josh Jacobs is. Just not even close. And so you give me Brandon Bolden, Zamir White, and I'll show you a team that can't run the ball. And yet he thinks that if we let go of Josh Jacobs, we can use backs like that in some sort of combinations and still win. I don't know. I just find that highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. Okay, let me see. Doc Radar, I made a comment before like this before, and you got, wait a minute, and you got a warning. Oh, but got a warning. If McMoron doesn't value Jacobs after last year, he deserves to be yeah. Well, Doc Raider, I honestly, it's hard for me because I want Raider Nation to understand what I understand. And it's just hard because I would have to kind of bore you guys to death and talk to nonstop about something that's just kind of bleh. But I'll just try to give you the small bits of it. Being a great player is not enough anymore. It's just not. For example, if you're a great player for the first 4 years of your career, there are those with analytics that would, honey, would you please turn the fan on? There are those with analytics that would tell you that after those first, that's good. After those first 4 years, that they're going downhill, that you already gave the best years of that running back to that other team. So now if you want this guy, you can get him, but you're getting you're paying for the 50-50 years. In other words, if he's going to start getting injuries, it's going to be in year 5, 6, and 7. If he's going to start missing games because of little, this hurts and that hurts, it's going to start in year 5, 6, and 7. So you already saw it with Josh Jacobs a little bit in his first 3-4 years. But the difference is he was able to outlast most of those. They were smaller injuries. But now what's he going to get in the next 3 years of his career? Probably the big ones, And so the NFL is learning from that. The coaches are learning from that, if you could call it learning, because that assumes that that's a hard and fast rule. And I don't know that it is. I love Jacobs, but it's not a running back league anymore. I don't think they'd get more than a 3rd round pick for him. Ted, I'd be surprised if they got a 3, because the NFL is trying to, in unison, the coaches and owners, devalue the position. So they would probably suggest to every other team, don't give more than a 4 or 5. Okay, let's see. Rodney Fuller, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. I don't think we will end up going quarterback in the first, but if we do, I hope it's Richardson. Hater, make us famous. Well, Rodney, more and more, I go back in my mind to all the drafts we've ever seen as Raider fans, and what do almost all of them have in common? The Raiders almost always do a pick or make a decision that none of us saw coming, that none of us anticipated. It's usually a name that none of us would have called out. You know what I mean? I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. Dorian Thompson Robinson, the quarterback for UCLA, he'd be a nice fit. I don't know that you need to, obviously you don't need to pick him 7th overall in the first round. You could probably get him in the 2nd or 3rd round for sure. But, that would be a name none of us have talked about, at least not on my show. And it would be easy, a good player. Jim Vanderlyn said, you're exactly right about rookie quarterbacks, what you said, Bear. I'm going to stop your comment there and just enjoy it for a few moments, where you said that I was right. Hold on. I'm basking in it, Mama Bear. Hold on. Okay, I'm done. Kaepernick had a great first year, and then worse than nothing, he was benched in favor of Blake Gabbert. To me, it is the ultimate rubbing of the horse doo-doo in your face to come in second to anything with Blake Gabbert. Blake Gabbert. Tell me you've ever heard a more preppy name in your life. And we all remember he's white as the given snow, has blonde hair that goes down to his shoulders, and he looks like a surfboard dude.
He's a towhead.
I mean, it's just no. And so when you get beat out by Blake Gabbert at Tiddlywinks, you should be humiliated. I saw that the NFL will be implementing new rules. I'm not sure I like the one when the quarterback it's going to be a flag for roughing the passer. What the hell? Corinna, I agree with you, but I understand the NFL as well. What they're trying to say to the fans of this coming generation, because obviously this is a new rule, is that they understand the situation as it is. It can't continue. For example, quarterbacks aren't getting bigger. but everyone else is. Everyone. Look at every position. Every position, linebacker, defensive line, defensive tackle, running backs, offensive linemen, wide receivers, tight ends, they're all bigger. And the only person that isn't getting bigger is the quarterback. And you got guys coming in the league now at quarterback. They're starting to get smaller than quarterbacks we've seen in the past. Like a lot smaller. You're seeing a lot of 5'10 and 5'11 guys. And, you know, that does not translate to the NFL well. You know, it's not like we've never had quarterbacks that size in the NFL before. You just haven't heard about them because nobody likes to talk about things that get squished and then left out of the league. I mean, why would you want me to give you the deep and detailed story of all the 5'10 quarterbacks that came into the league and washed out? Why do you think everyone still talks about Doug frickin' Flutie? You know, the guy who tells you to eat the blue pills now and says your girlfriend will like it too. It's bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. He's like running off the beach with his shirt on like he's Mr. Machismo. You're in a blue pill commercial, bro. Don't do the macho stuff. You know, swing the ball, the club at the ball, little golf ball, just as hard as you can. Just, oh, he drove it 300 plus yards. Now pass me the blue pill. Don't do that. But anyway, Doug Flutie, you know, was probably Drew Brees and maybe a handful of other guys. I can think of, you know, 3 or 4 off the top of my head. That's it. Jeff Garcia was pretty good. You know, he wasn't great, didn't win a Super Bowl or anything. In fact, none of the guys I mentioned won a Super Bowl, well, except Drew Brees, won a Super Bowl. But other than that, he won one, and that took his whole friggin' career. You know what I mean? Nicholas Maida, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Correction, when the quarterback is sacked, this will result in a flag for roughing the passer. Well, what they mean is, Corinna, is you can't drive him into the ground. And just personally, I agree with that. I just do. I agree with that. For a very long time, I came from a generation of guys that said, don't put a dress on him. That was like one of the most common phrases you would hear guys use, like just year after year after year, meaning don't make them into little girls, make them play like men and let quarterbacks get hit like quarterbacks have always gotten hit. But the problem with that is, and I think I can convince those of you who still feel that way that are watching me, listen carefully. I think I can get you. And here's what I mean. Quarterbacks aren't getting bigger, but everyone else is. So if quarterbacks get hurt, their season's over. Look at the Buffalo Bills and how excited they are about Josh Allen. If a guy blasts Josh Allen in week 2 and breaks his collarbone, guess what? Their season's over. And everyone in Buffalo is bumming for weeks and weeks and weeks because their one guy on the roster is gone. That's how crucial the quarterback position is. So see, to me, you shouldn't, and I know this is going to sound weird because I'm doing a complete 180 on this. I come from the old school. Okay, I've been watching NFL football since the early 70s. I mean, not early 70s, listen to me, early 80s. And I can tell you honestly, the era of blasting quarterbacks has got to come to an end because the teams make too much money. There's too much money in television rights and contracts now, to the extent where the TV companies are basically saying, hey, NFL, change some of these rules so these quarterbacks don't get hurt so we get better football, because now we're bringing Hong Kong and Japan and Italy and Spain and Germany and all these people in to watch these games, and they're falling in love with the players the same way they do like on the soccer field. Only the difference is guys on the soccer field don't usually get hurt to where their season's over. You know, you rarely see soccer players miss whole seasons. You know what I mean? Or get shifted to other teams really quickly. You know what I mean? Those leagues, the Euro leagues, where it's real super popular. European world football, aka soccer. But you got to keep these quarterbacks healthy so the show can go on. Anna Diaz Rincon would like to reply to my statement by saying, that's just plain dumb. I don't know. I don't know if that was actually meant at me, but you know, I would take it from Anna. You know, she was my first subscriber ever. You know what I mean? So we're good. You know, Anna Diaz, she gets away with murder here. R8RBEAR family page. You could be right, but there are exceptions. Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders, just to name 2. I think Josh Jacobs could well be an exception too. Okay, but the two people you mentioned, Doc Rader, Val, Tommy, whoever said that, um, the exception is of players from a whole nother era. They're from an era when you could hit the quarterback still. And those quarterbacks could sometimes survive those hits because sometimes the very defensive linemen and linebackers that were hitting them, the quarterbacks were almost as big as those guys. Remember, Jim Kelly, you know what I mean? Steve Young, those guys were big, you know what I mean? Not huge, but I mean, they were solid guys, 6'2", 240, you know what I mean? If you went running into them, you remember Dante Culpepper? Guys used to bounce off Dante Culpepper and he'd still throw the ball. It was like trying to tackle Majin Buu. Anyone that's watching my show that knows who Majin Buu is, you're cool. Those of you who don't understand the Majin Buu reference, not cool. These babies are coming out 10 pounds drinking Cambodian breast milk and steaks. Tony Carpenter Evans. This is a football show. What the hell is she talking about? Her exact comment is, these babies are coming out 10 pounds drinking Cambodian breast milk and steaks. She sounds like a soldier in the jungle, like afraid of the village people she's going to face. You should see these villagers. They're giving up 10-pound babies that drink Cambodian breast milk and steaks right from birth.
Anna Diaz-Rincon said she wasn't talking about you. It's the fact that roughing the passer.
Oh, okay, but that's not funny, though.
You are too much.
No. No. Okay, Tim Heckhock, Siragusa did more than just Gannon. Remember, I think Siragusa was the guy that also got Carson Palmer that year in the playoffs and injured him. Okay, so let me see. Big Italian mafioso type guy is in two separate incidents where quarterbacks got kneecapped and lost their season, but it was an accident. Siragusa's standing there going, I don't know what you're talking about. He might as well have had a mace, okay, or a shiv or a shank tucked into his sock, as far as I'm concerned. Siragusa was a dirty playing son of a monkey. What'd you say, Mom Bear?
I said a shiv or a shank in his sock.
A shiv or a shank? I said it too fast, so it sounded like I said shiver. Anyway, Siragusa, yes, was just a dirty player, Tim Heckhock. He just was. He's a bad example because he should have been out of the league sooner than he was out of the league. But, he was a football player and he could ball. But, yeah, you can't be picking up quarterbacks and slamming them to the ground. I just don't agree with it. You know what I mean? Because we all know that if you look at, like, for example, Aaron Rodgers, when Aaron Rodgers is on the field, he's one of the smallest guys on the field, on either side of the field. For everyone on defense and everyone on offense, he's one of the smaller guys as far as being stout, buff, ripped. You know what I mean? These secondary cornerbacks, the safeties, the linebackers, they're in the gym bench pressing the best they can. Quarterbacks just do a little bit to stay strong. You know what I mean? So they're not hard. You know what I mean? They still have to be, loosened, relatively flexible to keep those, those quarterback percentages high. Accuracy comes along with flexibility. When you're stiff, you're not as accurate because the ball tends to be, rough, a bullet. So Siragusa, yeah, even the plays. I mean, Siragusa is the quintessential argument for hitting the quarterback. So does the new rule mean they can't breathe on Jimmy G to avoid injury? Ted Thane, yes, thank God. You know what I mean? Because he's our guy now, so we got to get him through the year. When I mentioned Emmitt Smith and Sanders, I was referring to your comment about the durability of Josh Jacobs. Oh, okay. Thank you, love. John Templeton, Rackham, Dragon Ball Z, as my guy. John Templeton's cool for the evening. Welcome to the show, John. Okay, Vernon Moshman, who plays more games this season, Jimmy G or Darren Waller? I'm having a tough one with that one. I have a feeling Darren Waller, and a part of what Darren Waller was doing was contract stuff. I don't mind saying that. I really do feel. I mean, remember, guys, it goes without saying who Darren Waller's agent was. And for those of you, and for those of you who don't know who his agent is, it's Drew Rosenhaus, who you guys know is like the HBO equivalent of an agent who cusses, spits, does every dirty, underhanded possible thing he can to get his client a contract. So I just think that he may have told Darren Waller not to play. Keep saying your hamstring's bad until they get rid of Derek Carr. Why risk getting injured and lowering your value? Kevin Woke said Siragusa was as dirty as it gets. I completely agree. I still dislike Siragusa because of that hit on Gannon. I agree, but any hit like that on any player, I don't like. I don't like it. And that's why it's so easy for me to lean toward the idea of taking the smashing of guys out of the game. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. I think that some of the tackles that were and hits that were done to quarterbacks last year, the rules and the refs and the NFL way overreacted. I mean, we all saw the guy that landed on Derek Carr, for the Chiefs. He landed on Derek Carr, but he landed in a push-up position. In other words, he wrapped his arms around Derek. He started to take him to the ground, but just before they hit the ground, he pulled his arms out and he put his hands flat on the ground in a push-up position so his chest and his body weight wouldn't bounce on Derek Carr. It was honestly, in my opinion, one of the most sportsmanlike plays I've ever seen by a huge man that had an opportunity to drill his opposing team's quarterback. And instead, he did the most classiest sack tackle I've seen in a long time on a rival quarterback, no less. And they threw the flag for roughing the passer on him. And even as a Raider fan, I felt bad for that player in that moment. I did. I'm as Raider fan as it gets. Okay. It's on there. It don't wash off. Okay. But facts are facts. That was not only was that not roughing a passer, it was about as form and sportsmanlike a sack as you can get. And they flagged him anyway. It was ridiculous. Now, I think that if they go back and they watch the video, they know that they effed up. And I would say that if you tackle a quarterback in that manner, that should still be allowed. A quarterback should still have to survive the ground. He still should have to be tough enough that if I just push him to the ground, that he can roll, hit the ground, get up, and get back to the game. You know what I mean? Now, we saw that what's taken Tua Tagovailoa potentially out of the league is even just that, just knocking him down because he falls terribly. Now, I know a lot of you have met someone like that since you were a little kid playing out on the playground or playing, dodgeball and things like that. There are kids that are very athletic, but they're clumsy. They can hit a baseball. They can throw a baseball. They can catch a football. They can do all that stuff, but they're clumsy. And so what happens is you get a guy like that and he can't get out of his own way because he doesn't know how to fall. So when he falls, his head bounces off the ground constantly. I can't think of any other player in my life that falls so badly. I mean, he's gotten concussed on three different situations where he was hit, but the hit didn't cause the ricocheting of the helmet backward. It was just him not being able to tuck his chin or roll as he fell down. And he bounced, and the guy that knocked him down is walking away. You know what I mean? That's a shame. Penalty or not, I would love to see Max Crosby knock the snot out of Mahomes. Okay, and then Mahomes will get up, Max will be out of the game, and Mahomes will throw 4 touchdowns because we can't get pressure on the quarterback. So no, Jim, you don't want to see that. Should we trust this general manager and his staff will do the right thing in this year's draft? Mama Bear quickly goes, no. The nation has spoken. I got to say, okay, I'm going to tell you what I know as far as the news, okay? In the news, Mark Davis said, and I quote, that this is Dave Ziegler's first time really being in charge of it all with a draft. And so we're going to see how he does. I'm wishing for the best for him. When no one asked him. In other words, he was doing an interview and no one asked him about Dave Ziegler, and he just threw out there. He just offered up. Yeah, he's new at this, so I hope he's not a complete loser. Hope he doesn't blow it. You know, that's not exactly a vote of confidence from the nimwit that's supposed to be your owner. You know, the guy that's owned the team now for 11 years, since 2011, and has had only 2 winning seasons. And those 2 winning seasons did not produce a playoff win, neither of them. And by the way, he's had 7 different coaches in those 11 years. 7. Bum. And he throws out fans that have signs that say anything that he doesn't like or might hurt his wee whittle feelings behind his little white turtleneck. Pussy cat. Ted Thane, yes. However, Jimmy G is so injury prone, he's liable to trip on his own shadow. Yeah, we're gambling he's going to trip coming off the plane of the first game. Vicky Ginn, listen, I know how you feel, honey. I really do. I hate to say that, but I do. I want you to try to get best rest you can, okay? And for once, let people take care of you instead of you always taking care of everyone else. Okay? You gotta let others take care of you. Why don't you let little Marlo get to work, huh? Why don't you let Marlo go in the kitchen and make you something to eat? Maybe have Marlo clean up around the house tonight.
Marlo
Huh?
tried to video call me.
No, not Marlo calling my woman. Okay, Marlo mowing the lawn. How about that? That little shit. For those of you who don't know, a 9-year-old little monkey came into my house just once and started hitting on my woman. All but a foot tall. Looks like a black little Smurf.
He is adorable.
I'd have slapped the hair off his head, but he didn't have any.
He looks
That
so
little
cute.
monkey. I love you, Marlo. I'm just kidding. Don't ever be afraid of me. Vernon Moshman, I'm going with Will Waller. Jimmy G is much more injury prone. I'm going to have Corinna as my co-host now. She's answering my guest questions.
Nice. She's awesome.
Yeah, they're all talking to each other. What I was talking about is a hit that puts Mahomes out for the season. What shit? That's the same thing. You'd have to drill him, and he'd probably be out of the game. But okay, you're right. If it was take one for the other, I would rather see him drill Mahomes and end his season. And I would rather have Max even be thrown out of that game. And then he's able to play the rest of the season. And Mahomes isn't. Love it.
Marlo said he's never afraid.
Well, he better be.
I love it. That's right. Don't back down, Marlo.
No. Marlo, I'm going to crush you now. Okay, now you're mine. You know all those endings on Mortal Kombat where they go, finish him. I'm going to pick one for you. So was it our GM who got us Adams or Bowl Cut Davis? There's an argument out there, Vernon, that it was both, that Mark Davis would have had a lot to do with that because the general manager was like literally just walked into the building. So whether he pulled the trigger or not, he did it with his boss, in his lap. But now moving forward, going through the draft, this is going to be all on him because Mark Davis has made it clear. He's literally said that he's no, draft guru, draft mogul. He's not going to put the input into the draft like that. He expects that to be their expertise and for them to bring it. Edgar Lucky De Leon said, great show, Joseph Bear. Appreciate the love, brother. Okay, Vicky, again, listen, no man is allowed to call my woman without permission.
He's not a man.
Okay. But especially not little boys. Okay. And tell him I'm going to punch him in his McNuggets.
He has a better shot.
A little Happy Meal.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Oh, too much.
So anyway, Tone Saveka says, was it the monkey from Any Which Way But Loose with Clint Eastwood movie? Yes, he could play that part, that little... Vicky, sending you positive vibes and strong prayers from Corinna Trujillo. Appreciate that, love. That was very kind of you. So just real quick, moving forward, and I just want to talk about this real fast because I know this is going to come up in the next couple of days. And I'm not back till Monday because I don't do weekends and I don't do windows unless they're from my Mama Bear. And I do Mama Bear on the weekends, so I got to be off of the camera, okay? At least off this camera. I'm just kidding. Okay. Or am I? The first pick.
God, that's after hours. Bear XXX.
You taking notes, Marla? Okay, so number 1, the Panthers, obviously. Number 2, the Texans. Now, I don't think there's going to be any movement there. I think, obviously, we all agree with that. Where the movement will start is at 3 and 4. So we know the Panthers and the Texans are locked in. But can something be done to move us into the Cardinals spot? Because we know the Colts won't work with us, because the Colts, if anything, are thinking of moving into that spot. But the Colts like where they are at 4 because they think the Cardinals are going to go defense. So unless someone can get the Cardinals out of that spot, the Cardinals are going to go defense. Then the Colts are going to get Anthony Richardson. I'd have to imagine they're interested in him. Now, there's also argument that they go directly for Will Levis. So at 1, I'm going to say Bryce Young. At 2, the Texans, DJ, TJ, BJ, whatever, Stroud. And then the Cardinals go defense. Then the Colts take Will Levis. Then the 5 and the 6, the Seahawks. I feel like the Seahawks could either trade down or will take the best defensive player on the board, because there's going to be so many great defenders on the board. I don't think they're going to want to take a quarterback of the future when they just gave Geno Smith a new contract. And Geno Smith's considered to be, a relatively young guy. He could give them 2, 3, 4 more years easy. And they can, select when they see the quarterback of the future. Especially, remember, there is a tie between Pete Carroll and next year's hot commodity, Caleb Williams, who is the quarterback coming out of USC. Who is the old legendary quarterback at USC? Pete Carroll. So see, now there's a connection where Pete Carroll can get, word to Caleb Williams that he should want to be a Seahawk. Then they move on from that this year and go after Caleb next year. So then that leaves the Lions, and the Lions are in the same position the Cardinals are. They're either going to draft defense or some other position other than quarterback, or someone's going to make a deal from behind us with them to move up into their position and take Anthony Richardson out from in front of us at 6, which, don't get mad if that happens, because I would get mad if that happens. But you can't get mad if that happens, so I can't get mad if that happens. And the reason why is because the Titans are sitting at 11. So if you're a team picking at 6 and you want to save some money, the drop from 6 to 11, as far as how much you have to pay the rookie that comes in at the 6th spot, as opposed to the one that comes to the 11th spot, you're talking about easily $30 million separating those two positions. In other words, you're going to pay $30 million more for the 6th spot than you would to the player who lands in the 11th spot. At least $30 million. It's probably more than that. But I could see the Lions saying, hey, you know what? Whatever the best defensive player available is, it's going to still be a pretty darn good one at a lot of positions of need for us at 11. So let's go ahead and give it up to the Titans. Let them come up to 6. They take Anthony Richardson, and we're left there, holding the bag. Now, don't get me wrong. We're still going to get a great player no matter what. It's the 7th spot. So no matter what happens, if you just sit there, you're going to get a good spot. I mean, you're going to get a great player. You just see what I'm saying? So there's no real harm to us, but it can be harm in our plans, because from what I understand, the plan for the Raiders is to get Anthony Richardson. So if they don't get him, it's a failed draft as far as the Raiders are concerned. All right. By the way, tonight's winner of our auction this afternoon was Candy Dimnioski. So if anyone should see her or talk to her, let her know, but I will let her know myself in my inbox. But just to make sure she knows as soon as possible. Mama Bear, I have a ferocious kink in the left side of my neck now, and it's happening right at the end of the show. Thank God.
Okay,
I don't know where that came from. It was like, and my left side of my neck went, ow. Jeez. I feel like one of the players is like in good with God. Someone I was talking trash about it like got me. The Jimmy Garoppolo shots. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Alexa, resume, woman.
Woman by Doja Cat.
No, don't play woman. I meant you resume, woman.
Oh my God.
That's okay. You know what? I don't care. I like it. Oh, Mama Bear, I'm dancing for him. I'm dancing for him.
Oh God, please.
I'm doing it. I might even sing next. I might even sing. No, I won't do that. No, I won't do that. I like my audience. I wouldn't sing. I like my audience. Shout out to our armed forces. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force. For all you do, the energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice. Active and veteran, much love. I will see you soon on R8RBEAR family page. Please don't forget to like and follow on YouTube and to subscribe on Facebook, Raider Bear Live, Raider Bear Family page. Much love from your bear, Mama Bear, my boy Poe, and my boy Bo. Much love. Have a great, safe weekend. Peace.